Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to tell if your Amazon FBA private label product is actually going to be profitable or not. If that sounds like something you're interested in watching, be sure to stick around till the end. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, welcome into my computer. We have just pulled up a market so we can use this as just a general profitability example. So we're going to be using this. Say this was your product. You won't have a listing to do this on yet, but I'm going to explain how all that works. Don't worry. So let's just talk about margin really quick and what your margin should be and why. So if we pull this up automatically, this is assuming that this is going to be about a quarter of the price of this product, a little less than about 20% looks like. And then this one is going to be freight cost, $200 per cubic meter. That seems a little bit low. I would say you could actually double that. And we're up to about 41% margin right now. So that means, just really quick, a very beginner-friendly lesson on margin. It means if your product is selling for $38.25, exactly 41.41% of that price is going to be what actually is your profit after your expenses for this product. So that means that $15.84 is going to be collected as sole net profit. You just essentially made that out of thin air, right? You spent this money, and then that money came back in addition to everything that you spent, coming back to you as well. So it's not your total takeaway. You'll actually earn more than that. That doesn't mean you're going to get paid $15. If that were the case, you'd actually essentially be losing money here. That means that you're going to make that much money after you get all the money you already put into this back. So that's what net margin is. Your ROI here is 100 and we'll call it 150%, 145%. That's okay to me. 150% ROI is totally fine for me on a private label product. If I could get it up to 200, great. I'm really more focused on margin in this case. So 41% margin, 41% of sales. Now, the factor that everyone misses out on, here's where this question of how to tell if your Amazon FBA product will be profitable or not, title of this video comes in. When you go to sell something, you assume a 41% margin. In this case, I would say you're okay. But what you have to factor in is that in the lifetime of this product, you're probably going to have to shave 10%, 15% off of that product's margin towards ads. Maybe the first year of your product, you could get it down that much. So really, when we have a 40% margin here, 41% margin, that's basically like saying we're actually going to make 30% or 28%, 29% on the lifetime of this product. If we have a 50% margin, we could assume maybe we'll make 40% or 38% margin. And if we have, up, of course, as you keep going up, it's going to be that same ratio, right? You're just going to take 10% off. And that's something that I've seen with my products. That's why I'm using that. Other people might have other metrics that they use. Maybe they have even more expensive ads on their, markets they go into, and they have to account for, 20% increase or decrease in what they're going to spend. In other markets, maybe it's only 5% that you're going to have to shave off in the lifetime. And to be honest, there's been markets that I've entered, they weren't the most reputable markets, and I ended up getting taken down out of them where I didn't spend any money on ads. This is years ago when I was learning how to sell. I would have products go up like these wireless headphones that would sell, 30, 40 units a day, and, get copyright strikes from other creators and people who had, patents on those designs of certain headphones, and kind of taking advantage of search volume and putting a product that's very similar to something that already exists but for much cheaper. We're not really getting into that, but I'm just saying that this will vary. So my general rule of thumb is shave 10% off of whatever your net margin is saying right here. In your first order, it's even going to usually be more than that. So don't expect to make much on your first order. After photography, copywriting, ordering the units themselves, other, sample costs, once you factor all that in, you might be lucky to break even on a first order. We're thinking about the lifetime profitability of a product here. So the things that I want you to take away from today's lesson is that when you're trying to figure out your margin, don't just assume that what this shows is going to be your margin, okay? Assume that you're going to have to take about 10% off of that. And then also a rule of thumb that I want to give you now, one of the last things I'm going to be mentioning is two more things, is one of the last of them, is don't assume that you can sell for the highest price in the market. be experimental with your pricing here before you ever pay anything, before you're ever committed to this product, and see, can I afford to sell this product if I have to price at $34.99 or if I have to price at $29.99, right? Go see all those scenarios and then still apply that 10% rule and now see where you're at. Are you still comfortable with that? My general rule of thumb for myself is that I want to price somewhere in the middle of what's currently selling well in the market. If a product's selling between $20 and $30, I'm going to assume when pricing my product that I'm going to be able to sell it for $24.99. And most of the time, because of how well I'll present that product, I can usually sell it for the higher price, if not a little bit more. But always assume, if there's more profit on the table, fantastic. We don't have to account for what if profit goes up. That's just always going to be a good thing. We do want to account for what's going to happen if we have to shave some money off of this and sell for a lower price, and that's where it really sticks and where people really buy it. What's that going to do to our profit margin? The last thing that I wanted to mention was something that I mentioned in a previous video about a lot of sellers making this mistake. That's to double check your dimensions in your weight and make sure that the numbers that you're using to calculate yours are truly representative of what your product weighs and the size. That was a weird sentence, but you know what I mean. So when we come up here, ask your supplier for your exact packaging dimensions and then figure out your true profit margin, not just like what this profit margin is for this product. See what yours is, right? Because if this ends up being 15 inches and this ends up being 9 inches or something, I mean, all of a sudden you literally make no money. It's not like we increased those a crazy amount, right? So make sure that you're figuring those things out. Don't just leave that up to fate and just go, I hope it works out, or I think I'm in large standard size. I might be in smaller size. I don't know. Figure all those things out and make sure you're being proactive with this stuff because it is important. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell down below so you don't miss videos like this in the future. And as always, I'll see you here on the channel next time for another one. Thanks so much. Later.